You ought to know right there, that's not God given. God is not going to give when he say, don't do that. That's fornicating. And he said that's a sin. So you're going to do what the devil say in Jesus' name. That ain't going to work. Still call yourself a Christian, what you might be. But the thing is, what you doing won't work. Because God don't, he don't like, he don't bless fornicating, adultery. You know, he don't bless that. So if somebody come in your life and you're supposed to be courting, but you're calling it dating, and this is what's going on, and you're going to marry that person, you're going to have hell in that relationship because that relationship is not given by God. God would never give us something to sin against him.
I don't think, this is really what I think. I think marriage is kind of like what college is to a lot of people. It's a societal norm that people say, if you don't do it by a certain age, or if you don't accomplish this, you're a failure. So in order to not be a failure, or feel like a failure societally, or maybe even personally, you endeavor it. Like a lot of people go to college and they don't have a directive. They're not there to really get what college has to give. Then if they, first of all, they're not there to get what college has to give. They don't know how to do college. They don't know how to do it successfully. So they fail and flunk out. But they were going just to satisfy some societal need, whether it be from the parents or whoever. So I feel like I did, at least I did, I gave it a try. I did what I was supposed to do. Instead of going to college, or like we're talking about, being married for what it gives you, for not because somebody wants me to get married, because I want to get married and I see the value in it.
And because of the purpose of marriage. That God don't just bring a man and a woman together, he wants a unit. Because the man, the woman, and the man become one. Family means unit. Then they have children, which is all a part of them as one. And it reflects the Godhead. Everything God does or have done for us is to reflect and glorify him. Not for us, our own selfish. We get the benefits, but God get the glory. If you know what that means. See, when you, like you said with the college, you get the benefit, but if you come great, that college is going to get some glory from that. Look, every time somebody is a success and they become like an icon, or they don't even have to become an icon, they can be an icon in their own family, in their own neighborhood, or whatever. Everybody want to know what school they went to.
Who had a hand in that person becoming who they became?
Because look at why do they call these college, some of these colleges Ivy League?
Because they produced brilliant academia, which
They are
eventually evolves into producing brilliant students.
they are icons. They are called Ivy League because they are icons. Why do people so using your same example? So notice in some colleges like that, some universities like that. But anyway, that's a good example that you gave. We don't do anything that we don't want to succeed in unless we just don't want to succeed, like you said, because they making me do it or I'm under pressure to do it.
You're not doing it for the right reasons.
Not doing it for the right reason, and then you're not going to get the right results.
Ever. I don't want to be alone. Or
so you'll say,
I'm tired of my mother telling me every time we talk, when do you get married? I
just want it out of that
house. It sounds like a whole bunch of escapism. Like, if I do this, I can escape whatever scenario, whatever criticism, whatever I was getting before. It's not for the reasons why you should do a thing.
See, but that's why he said you have to be a man. See, you have to see that word man, and you have to define that word man and define that word wife, right? You have to find the word love. Because I hear people say, well, I love a steak. I love that car. But let a dog, let a growly dog come and throw that steak to that dog. You don't love, you have to define what somebody means by the word they're saying. Because in this society today, people just say things and it's like it's fleeting. And what brain ornaments is, my definition of that word is different than yours. But I don't know that. I'm thinking that we both defining the word the same. It's not. That's why you're supposed to be courting. When I was coming up, that's what had to be done. You had to come and ask my mom and my dad, because they come and see your daughter. And then my dad and my mom wanted to know who their dad and mom was, and then they're gonna put down the rules of engagement. You got to come here to court her. Now, and you got this time to come and this time to leave, and these many days you can come. And then in that, my sisters and I, we went on dates. Went to the movies, went to lunch or dinner or sports game or something like that. That's a date. Stop getting this stuff mixed up. But I remember my sisters, me too, but I'm gonna talk about my sisters. There was with my older sister, there were about 3 men that she thought she would like to marry until it was the courting time, and she found out that they were not compatible. I remember this because my older sister is like, what? She's 20 years older than me. My mom had 11 children, and I am the 10th of 11, so I saw this coming up, and I knew what was going to be in store for me. So, but the thing is it's gone. I don't even hear the word courting coming out of people now.
No.
So I want to stay on topic that you don't want someone that when you get into a marriage, that they start beating you, stealing from you, cheating on you. Talking about a man cannot stay faithful. Yes, he can, if he's a man of God. You let yourself get consecrated. Man, get consecrated unto God, where God is your first love. When God is your first love, he said, if you love me, obey my commands. His commands is his word, his law. If you love him. See, you love yourself, or you love that person, or you love something else more than God. He said, well, you can't be my disciple. You got to deny everything and everybody, including yourself, ourselves. God is the ultimate. If you're calling yourself a child of God, he's the ultimate. Do it his way, and it will work. It will always work for you, because it's already blessed.
I often hear people say marriage is too much of a sacrifice.
Well, don't get
But
married.
then this is my thing. When people go to college, like and become lawyers, or doctors, or engineers, one thing they must do first is prepare themselves for a sacrifice.
Hey,
When I got my degree in psychology, there were hours weekly that I had to sacrifice.
I know.
Almost 20
And
that
working,
I had to
and
direct.
working at the same time.
So you got to make it work. But the point is, you must be ready to sacrifice something. If you want to be really good at football, ask any football player. They had to sacrifice. While dudes was out partying and doing this and that, they had to be in the gym. They had to be on the football field working. The point is, if you want anything, I don't care what it is, that is worth any real value, you gotta sacrifice for it. That's the substratum of anything that is of any value. You have to sacrifice. So to go into something, because marriage has extreme value. So to go into something, an endeavor like marriage, and think you don't have to sacrifice, or think that it's not worth the sacrifice,
But look at here.
is indicative of your ignorance of what you're endeavoring.
And my
Don't
people,
do it.
And my people perish out of ignorance.
Don't go to college if you don't see the value in it.
Don't get married if you don't see the value in it.
If you're
It's
not
all
willing
for
to
self.
work, if you ain't willing to work in that marriage,
But look at this.
don't go, don't do it.
But look at this.
It's a waste of
See,
time.
marriage is the first institution instituted by God. That's how important it is, because marriage produces families. Families produce communities. And communities produce cities, states, countries. Marriage is the first two people, and look at the billions on this planet now. That is the most important, right there. That's why God, He did that first. The first
Look at the value in it.
but wait a minute, Michael. Everything has sacrifice, like you said, that has value.
Everything.
Because look at what the Lord said, Yeshua. He said, to be my disciple, you have to pick up your cross. What does the cross represent? Sacrifice. Pick up your cross and follow me. You have to deny mother, father, sister, brother. He was saying you have not even yourself. And pick up your cross and follow me. And if you don't do that, you're not worthy of me, he said. Because he's just that important. He's more important than we are. We are his followers, his children, his sheep, his church, his body. We are his. He's not a Santa Claus. He's not a magician that, oh, whatever you want. There it is. No, we have to do, what did he say? Seek first the kingdom of God. That's work there. Because it takes work to study, meditate. Even in school, it takes work. That's why you can't get out there partying and all of that. Because you got to discipline yourself if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, engineer, whatever, like a football player. You have to be disciplined to put all of that stuff aside until this is over. Because you know what? Just say you do that and you become a doctor. Now you're making money. You can party all you want. You can go around the world partying, or lawyer or whatever. You can do all that, but they put it on the back burner. Now when you get married to a wife, or this wife get married to a husband, y'all gonna be happy in that. It's not gonna be like I'm making a sacrifice for this woman. But he told you to. He said, didn't he say, a man supposed to die to his own want for his wife, and a wife supposed to submit to her husband.
And you know the crazy thing? Not the crazy thing, but the fabulous thing is, just like in football, like once you start to
You can tell my son used to play football, college football. He like to use that.
Once you start to find comfort in a routine, football, it requires that you eat well, that you exercise, that you make sure your body is maintained. Most football players, even after retirement, they've created a routine that is now natural to them. So guess what? They're always in shape. They're always healthy. Same thing with a doctor. What I used to like doing, because I stopped doing them for so long, and I started doing this, and I started creating other likes. What you thought you were sacrificing, you don't even want to do anymore. That's the thing. I used to want to go to clubs and go to parties because you had spent all this time not doing it and doing this. That became fun for you.
Yes.
More productive things. Same thing in a marriage. You stop doing all of this stuff, being single and fast and liking to sleep with women. You like chilling with your kids. You like coming home after work and being with your wife and children.
But let me say this though. He has to have an environment that he want to come home to. If you're married, that woman is supposed to have